Coming into this Jamaica game, guys, I felt really good about where the USMNT was. I mean, currently we were sitting in the number 1 spot, right? Currently we still are. We got to see what happens between Canada and Mexico later on tonight. And then obviously after that, we could talk about it, hash that out, right? But I mean, we had just beat Mexico by the tune of 2-0 in a convincing fashion. And anytime you could do that to Mexico, anytime you can do that to the second best team in the CONCACAF, in my opinion, which is Mexico, only behind us now, you're going to feel really good about your team. You're going to feel really good about the next opponent and heading into the next game. And that's exactly how I felt when we were going to head into Jamaica. I felt really good about this team. I said, okay, we're looking good. It seems like we're coming together now. We're gelling. Our players are understanding each other. They're understanding the system. We're going to beat this Jamaica team, right? We're going to come in here. Best case scenario, we get 3 points. Worst case scenario, we get a tie. But we get that tie in a convincing fashion because we've been looking good lately. But guys, that was completely the opposite. That performance against Jamaica was flat. I mean, if you were to ask me, the Mexico game and this Jamaica game completely tells a different story. The U.S. are definitely dominant at home, but when they're on the road, they're a big-time question mark. You really never know what team you're going to get. You really never know what team's going to show up, and that's what the big concern is for me. That's the most concerning thing for me at this point. And I'm going to be honest, the result wasn't devastating. I mean, we did go on the road. We did get 1 point against Jamaica, but with the way we were playing, I mean, I just expected this team to set that. I mean, they set that standard high already against Mexico. I expected them to come out here and do the same thing against a team that, in my opinion, isn't as technically sound as a Mexico team, right? But we're going to get into that. We're going to break down the players' performances, what I thought about the team, the first half, second half, and just overall my thoughts about it, okay? But before that, guys, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Smash the like button if you're kind of disappointed in this performance. Comment something if you're definitely disappointed. But overall, just give me your thoughts about the game. Was it good? Was it bad? Let me know. Let's get into this. Coming into this game against Jamaica, we knew that we were not going to be able to rely on Weston McKennie, who obviously is a playmaker, an engine, a motor for us in the midfield. And we were also going to be without Miles Robinson, who received a red card against Mexico. In my opinion, Miles Robinson, like I mentioned time after time, our most reliable, our most resilient, our most, important center back at this point throughout the World Cup qualifiers, if you were to ask me. Our best center back. We were not going to rely on them. We were not going to count on them. And we were going to have to count on a player like Chris Richards, who's still learning the ropes, doesn't have a lot of experience, but in my opinion, he's probably our future at the center back position. And a player like Busio, who could potentially be our future in the midfield as well. He's looking great for Venezia. We were hoping that his form will transition for the USMNT to the USMNT, but if you were to ask me, this game left a lot to desire, especially from Gianluca Busio. Jamaica was going to look a little bit different as well, right? They were going to have players like Ravel Morrison, Mikel Antonio, Leon Bailey. Those players they didn't count on in the previous matchup when we took on Jamaica and we beat them 2-0 in Texas. They were going to have them this time, and obviously you saw that Mikel Antonio made an impact immediately with that amazing golazo from a distance to obviously give Jamaica the tie. And I also had a feeling that Jamaica was going to come out here and try to impose their will, set the tempo, and that's exactly something that happened. There was a couple times where Jamaica could have easily capitalized. If we were playing against a more technically sound team, guys, we would have definitely lost this match. We should have came out here and put Jamaica on their heels, put some pressure early and often, and just give it to them, just exactly the same way we gave it to Mexico. I mean, if we could give it to Mexico, we could definitely give it to Jamaica. Jamaica is one of those teams that, if you were to ask me, is not that technically sound, is a little bit more disorganized. But instead we come out here feeling Jamaica, looking like we're trying to see what type of style they're going to play us, how they're going to play us tonight in the first half, come out in the second half, and then it seems like we're okay just with the tie. It seems like we're content walking away with the tie. That's what I took from it. I mean, if you were to ask me, that's my opinion. I could definitely be wrong about it, but the first half, we're feeling them out. Second half, we're okay with walking away with the tie. That's what I took from this game. I just didn't see the same urgency from this team that I did see from them on Friday. Like I said, a tale of two teams, completely the opposite teams. Friday, there was urgency, electric, fire. I mean, I don't know if it was just the fact that we were playing Mexico at home. We've had Mexico's number recently, and we just felt that extra boost of adrenaline, excitement, and that kind of put us over the edge maybe. But then, that's just the way you should play Jamaica too, because it's not just about beating Mexico. It's about beating every single opponent in the World Cup qualifiers, right? You got to get as many points as possible to qualify. It's not about beating Mexico. It's not just about that. It's about beating every opponent. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Just a tale of two teams. I released a tweet last night, guys, talking about the USMNT. If you guys follow me on Twitter, great. If you don't, then I suggest you guys follow me because obviously I dropped some nuggets there for you guys. Trust me. That aside, though, I talked about and I tweeted about the USMNT basically saying that I didn't want the USMNT to go out to Jamaica and play down to competition, right? Because obviously, if you were to ask me, and my opinion is, and I'm very honest here, my opinion is that we tend to play down to competition, especially on the road. I mean, let's be honest here. Panama, not saying that Panama's a pushover team, but we could have garnered a point at least, maybe 3. What do? We go out there and we get ran over. Honduras, same thing happened. Tale of two halves. The first half we looked like shizzle. Second half, Pepe comes in, saves the day. El Salvador, the first match, I mean, don't even get me started. A 0-0 nil draw. Probably the second worst match. Maybe, second worst match in these World Cup qualifiers if you were to ask me. And then obviously now against Jamaica, we come out here and just look like a completely different team. It's starting to look like a trend to me. And that's something that's starting to worry me, right? That's the reason why I'm worried. It's not like, oh, the U.S. came out here and look like crap today, but then look good on the road the other time, or the other time as well, right? It's not like that. It's not like it's a once in a lifetime thing or once in a blue moon. It's consistently happening. I don't want this to become a trend because, ladies and gentlemen, the World Cup is not played in the States. It's played in Qatar on the road. On the other hand, at home, I mean, we're looking great, right? We're coming out here, pitching some shutouts here and there, and obviously scoring goals, doing what we got to do, taking care of business. But on the road, it's just another story. So that's just something that I wanted to talk about with you guys that I've been noticing about the USMNT. That's something we need to be keeping a close eye on, especially because we still have some games on the road. I mean, we got to take on Canada in Canada. We got to take Mexico. At Mexico, we got to take on Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, those are 3 very tough teams. Very, very tough teams, which in my opinion, if we don't come out play our best ball, we're going to drop those 9 points, right? But that's something I wanted to talk to you guys about. We definitely need to turn that around. We need to be more consistent on the road, just a more consistent team overall. Let's take a quick gander at the starting 11. At goalkeeper was Zach Steffen. Right back was DeAndre Yedlin. Center back, the duo, were Richards and Zimmerman. Left back was Anthony Robinson. The midfield was Yunus Musa, Gianluca Busio, who obviously got the nod in position, in place for Weston McKennie. And then obviously you got the general, Tyler Adams. On the wingers, you got Tim Weah, Aronson starting back-to-back games. And then obviously at the striker position, the one and only Ricardo Pepi, who also gets a back-to-back start. Each player looked like they could have definitely improved in some categories tonight. Aside from Tim Weah, who in my opinion looked lively once again. I mean, he had the only goal. And in that goal, I mean, in the first half, guys, that goal, I mean, that was all Tim Weah. Showed his speed, showed his physicality to break through the back line, and he had the goal. So aside from him, he looked good. Aronson obviously looked lively. Pepe was not involved that much. Adams had some giveaways here and there, but overall, I mean, he was okay. He was solid. Yunus Musa looked like Yunus Musa. Gianluca Busio, though, on the other hand, it looked like he could definitely improve. The guy's performance left a lot to desire. I was really excited about him, especially with the way he's been playing at Venezia, with the way he's looking there. I mean, he's looking fantastic, looking like a fine prospect. I was expecting him to bring that form over here for the USMNT, but definitely looked like a different Gianluca Busio. Hopefully he finds his footing here and he carves out a role in the midfield for us because he's a really good prospect, but he looked a little lost last night. Didn't have the impact that we all wanted him to have. Anthony Robinson was alive and lively in the left side, but there's something I've been noticing about Anthony Robinson. Aside from him being fast and being able to break that back line of the defense and, I mean, blistering speed, obviously, on that left side, he has some big, heavy touches. And he had a big-time heavy touch there in the penalty box. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I'm pretty sure you did, where talking about that play, that amazing little chocolate that Anthony Robinson, our best left back in the team, left Bobby de Cordova Reed in the penalty box, basically 2 feet away from the goal. I mean, all the guy needed to do was come in here and just tap it into one of the sides. To one of the sides of Zach Steffen, and it would have been 2-1 Jamaica. Those are the type of mental lapses we can't afford to have in the World Cup qualifiers. I mean, God forbid the guy puts it in. We're talking about a different scoreline. We're talking about a different problem here. The fact that the U.S. lost, not tied, right? But that being said, that was a really bad giveaway. But that miss, I mean, by Bobby there, the Jamaican striker, was even worse. That was an atrocity, and I'm thankful he missed it because obviously, at least we take a point away. We got to clean that up. I mean, if we're not playing a great game, if you're not playing great offensively, if you're not creating any chances, don't give the other team chances, okay? Don't give the other team chances on your side of the field for them to score. We just can't have that happen in the World Cup. Because if that happens, I mean, you lose, you go home. It's not like, hey, you lost 3 points and you're back at it next month. No, you lose there, you have a bad miscue, bad giveaway, they clean it up, they put it in the net, it's over. Your dreams are over. Chris Richards, like Zimmerman, they looked okay. I mean, nothing to worry about there. Richards looks like he's coming along nicely. Zimmerman looks like he's carving out a role at that center back position. DeAndre Yedlin looked okay as well. And Zach Steffen, I think he definitely needs to clean up some things there. I noticed that there was a couple of times where there was some 50-50 balls between him and a Jamaica striker. He was coming out a little late. I feel like he needs to be a little bit faster on that. But aside from that, I mean, everybody played all right. I mean, nobody played a great game aside from Tim Weah, like I said, who looked lively and, in my opinion, was the most energetic player throughout the game. And the thing that I'm really loving about Aronson and Tim Weah here, guys, is the fact that they're embracing that next man up mentality. They've done a fantastic job filling in nicely for Christian Pulisic, obviously, who was dealing with an injury, and obviously Gio Reyna, who's still out with an injury. The fact that these young kids could come in here and just embrace that next man up mentality is something that we should definitely be excited about. Shows that if we're missing a talisman, if we're missing a playmaker, if we're missing a starter, one of these kids could come in and just fill in nicely and we won't miss a beat. So that's something to look forward to. That's something to be optimistic about and something to be excited about. And Weah is definitely becoming that impact player that everybody wanted him to be. We got to take it easy on the kid. He's very young, but very talented, very skilled. And I've said it time after time. I probably sound like a damn broken record already. I probably annoy some of you, but I'm a firm believer in Weah. And trust me, guys, when he peaks, when he hits the limit, I mean, this guy's going to be amazing. Whether he's playing that winger spot, whether he's playing that striker side, the kid has a speed, has a physicality, has a height. Overall, just has intangibles to be a solid winger / striker when it's all said and done. But we got to take it easy on the kid. We got to allow him to grow, allow him to make those mistakes, allow him to have those growing pains. But overall, I mean, he's showing you glimpses of how special this kid is. Defensively transitioning into defense when we lost the ball and it was time to go on defense and defend Jamaica, it looked like we were a little slow on that, a little sluggish. I'm not sure exactly if it was just the speed of Jamaica. Obviously, when they take the ball away from you, they're trying to flip it and go the next way with speed, right? Obviously, they have blistering speed on the left, right, and down the middle. They're fast all over the place. So not sure if it was just Jamaica's speed that was making us look a little bit sluggish on transition, or the fact that it was just hot and humid, right? Not going to make any excuses, but I think it was going to be around 80-something degrees or something like that, and the humidity was going to be a little high. Overall, that's something else that I did notice. And finally, let's talk about BERHALTER here, because obviously BERHALTER is going to take his piece too. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how you can have a team so ready to face Mexico, to go out there and just pound Mexico, literally just do what they want to them, run all over them, beat them in a convincing fashion, come back here 3 days later and put this performance out like this against Jamaica, where left a lot of question marks. I mean, you basically answered a lot of question marks, a lot of questions against Mexico with that amazing performance, and then you come out here and you do this. Now you have even more questions, like what's going on? Like, was that a one-hit wonder? Was that match against Mexico a one-hit wonder? Was it just emotions? You know, was it that gave the extra boost to win the game, or what was it? Or was it the scheme? Was it the game plan this guy put together? Obviously, you can look at it different things, right? But to me, like I mentioned, I'm just worried that it's becoming a trend. It's becoming a trend that we're not ready to go when it's time to go on the road, right? And that's something that we need to be able to do, especially when it comes time to the World Cup, guys. Like I mentioned, the World Cup's not going to be played in the States, at least not till 2026. Maybe then we could be talking about home field advantage and probably making it far in the World Cup, or who knows, right? But that aside, we're not there yet. We can't go into the World Cup with this mentality where it's like, okay, we're kind of iffy. We're away from home. We don't know how we're going to play. BERHALTER gets nervous. Doesn't put a good scheme together, or the players, they're not ready to go mentally because BERHALTER's not getting them ready. I don't know what the deal is. But this BS where we're dropping points on the road needs to stop. We need to become more consistent. If we want to be taken serious, in my opinion, not just here in the CONCACAF, but worldwide, we need to start churning out results on the road. Like I said, even if we don't win, as long as we put a convincing fashion out there, that's all that matters to me, man. Something that shows me that this team is growing and not becoming complacent, right? Not giving me a complacent result here. But that being said, I just don't get how you can have a team so ready to go against the second best team in the CONCACAF and then come out here and lay an egg like this and play for the tie. It just makes no sense to me. What message are you sending to the fans, the players? I mean, I don't know if the players, like I said, were tired or what the deal was. We're definitely going to be breaking down BERHALTER's interview later. We're going to be reacting to that as well, and I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be uploading a video reacting to BERHALTER's interview. Right? I'm not convinced about the guy. Not fully convinced yet. He had a good performance against Mexico, but when he comes and has performances like these against Jamaica on the road, below tier competition, not throwing hash or throwing blows at Jamaica here, they're a very talented team on paper, but they just can't seem to gel correctly, on the field. With that being said, today's performance was disappointing. Not what I expected. Not what I expected at all. Like I mentioned, coming into this game, I was full of confidence. I had that extra boost of confidence knowing that this team was going to come out here and churn out a result. Maybe, by the scoreline of 1-0, maybe 2-1. Who knows, right? But that was completely the opposite result. With that being said, let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Were you guys convinced with this match, with this game? I mean, obviously we had an amazing game against Mexico, and then to come around and have a game like this, what are your thoughts? Were you guys convinced? Are you going to let it slide due to the fact that we did beat Mexico for the third time this year? Or are you guys going to hold this team accountable? Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. Aside from that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed these videos. Smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Guys, follow us on our socials because we definitely drop some nuggets there like I mentioned. And that aside, this is your boy Marv. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching the State of the USMNT.